I've read about the Big Bang, everything's expanding at the universally constant rate. Where is the contraction then?
Where's the contraction?
Right.
It's occurring at the exact same time, right? Think of the Big Bang as a torus, right? As the double torus. We're at the equator moving away, so we think everything is expanding. If we were at the poles moving back in, we'd think everything is contracting. You see? But because it's so huge, we don't get any clue. We see that there's stuff that's blue shifted over there and it's confusing us, and there's stuff that seems to be moving at faster than the speed of light and it's confusing us even more. And that's because we're starting this new mapping of the background radiation in which they said, oh my God, it's not uniform. And when they tried to map it out, they said, oh, it looks like a torus. They're starting to realize the universe is a huge torus.
Embedded torus.
Embedded toruses.
So if you're I see you as a real human being, but in reality, capital R,
right.
You are, my perception of a human being, your embedded toruses, you're really actually a black hole embedded continuously, so you are virtually no thing. You're a field of pure potential. You are a vacuum.
Yeah, I am the manifestation of the vacuum when the vacuum is coherent. The vacuum is incoherent over here, so you don't see it, but where it's coherent, then you see it.
And my eyes and my senses are designed to perceive in this particular framework your coherent reality.
That's right.
But in dimensionlessness, or in all dimension then,
right.
Your particular focal point or your positionality
right.
relative to what you're seeing only applies to three-dimensionality and not other dimensions.
Well, wait. When you start talking about dimensions, we're going to have issues.
Okay.
Because if you say dimensions to a physicist, he's thinking another Cartesian plane. When you say dimensions to a spiritual person, he's thinking a whole world of things going on, right? And that's what the confusion is.
Okay.
So let's agree on dimensions. Okay, from what you saw tonight that I showed you, dimensions in that definition then is a different scale. That's all it is, right? Another dimension is a different scale. Dimensions are not parallel to each other, they're concentric to each other. So, for instance, if you were an atom and you experience the universe as an atom at that scale, you'd see it in a certain way. Now, if I grew you to a human being, all of a sudden you would experience the universe completely differently, and you could think, I've changed dimension. But you haven't. All you've done is change scale, literally change dimensions.
Okay.
Right? So that's really, really crucial.
Okay. So I agree with you, and that's physical reality.
Right.
That's physical reality. But now, if we talk about everything on an ideational level, like your idea to me is another reality. In other words, it's another dimension, and it doesn't have scale, and it doesn't have all of these properties.
No, it does. It does.
An
because
idea does.
Yeah, all your ideas do. They're scale bounded. They're scale related, because your ideas, what you're downloading, what you're expressing, is the information that's in the vacuum in the morphogenic field in which you are. Meaning that you're experiencing the world, and that's giving you ideas, and then you express those ideas, modifying the world, which is giving you new ideas again, and all that. So you are bounded by this scale, and that's why we have a coordinated relationship. I like to think of it this way. All of our heads are diverging, making us individuals, but all of our feet are converging to the same center. It's held by the same gravitational field, which means that it holds a very specific center, a very specific set of information, which is all all the information of all the things on the planet, all experiencing it from their very particular sets of information, which is a combination of all the sets of information of all their cells, experiencing the universe from their center, which again is the combination of all the information of all the atoms that makes one particular cell experiencing the universe from their center, and so on and so on and so on and so on. You see what I'm saying? And so dimensions is a scale relationship. Information is a scale relationship. Time is a scale. Time is concentric and scalar. And so that's why it's not so obvious to us, because we think of it in linear terms. But in fact, it's concentric, it's spherical embeddedness.
All right, so like when you're talking about these black holes, and
Okay, I can't keep going because I got to take more questions. We'll have to discuss this. Go ahead.
If time's scaled, did the Big Bang, is there a beginning?
That's a good question.
And if there was the beginning point of the Big Bang, I was always wondering what was around that point just before it happened.
Okay, well, that's the thing. This was one of the hardest moments in my research. It was when I realized that based on what I was writing, based on the concept, based on the math, I would come to have, at one point, I would have to come to conclude that, and I had to let go of this human concept that there's some kind of beginning and that there's going to be some kind of end, because that's a linear concept, but actually that it is only cycles from infinitely big to infinitely small, and all I need to understand is those cycles. All I need to understand and let go of the beginning and the end concept, because we never ever 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 have seen anything begin or end. Nothing. Not one single thing. And when I say that, people say, yeah, well, I know I'm going to die. Well, okay, show me something in that event that disappears. I can count every single one of the atoms that you've ever been made of, and you're shedding billions of atoms every second, right? Because this cell divisions, you're dividing cells at the rate at a million cells a second. Each cell is made out of billions of atoms. So you're shedding atoms like there's no tomorrow. Like you got this trail of stuff following you, and and I can count all the atoms you were made. When you so-called died, they didn't disappear, right? They just disorganized from one set of organization into another scale, the Earth, right? And then they're going to get reorganized again, and disorganized and reorganized. So all we're seeing is cycles. We have seen nothing die. You see big titles in astrophysical journals, the death of a star. We like to be so dramatic, right? And because they see a star explode, a supernova. But the truth is when the dust settles, what do they see where their star was? They see a pulsar or a black hole, right? And because they changed the name of it, they say it's dead. No, it's changed form, but it's still alive, right? It's just gone through a cycle. So it's like, all we see is cycles. And so there's no beginning and no end. And at first, when you try to experience that in your body, it's like, oh my God, it's like you're gonna die. It's like if you let go of a beginning and an end, it's like you're gonna die. But if you actually let it go, all of a sudden it's like a liberation, and you start to feel the flow of nature that you're in.